So, I mean,
Yes.
right away you're going, God, why is this happening to us? You know?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, to make a long story short, she was in the operating room for over 6 hours. And when the surgeon came out, he was shaking his head. Oh, what does this mean? You know? He says, I'm really sorry. The needle started moving during the operation. And even though we had cut around there, we had to start cutting more than we expected to cut. Now, if you know the knee area, the whole body weight is supported in the knee. And if you have knee problems, you know you have problems because you're not able to support your weight. And he cut major muscles and tendons to get to this needle before it went into one of the main arteries. He got it after 6.5 hours under the knife. That's what he called it. And you'd say, what kind of miracle is this? Well, there was a lot of miracles. My daughter, Renee, she would have the nurses get her out of bed and get in a wheelchair. And she would go around that whole hospital telling everybody about the love of Jesus, adults and kids. When I used to come there to go visit her, I was having problems. I had a painting business at the time, and I was having problems and didn't know what to do. That 7-year-old girl would start telling me exactly what to do without even knowing, I didn't ask her anything. She would start talking in a vocabulary that was impossible for a 7-year-old girl. And she'd tell me exactly what to do. And when I followed those instructions, everything worked out fine.
Yes.
Okay? The day I actually sat down with the surgeon and I said, okay, what's going on? What are we going to expect? He says, all right, I'm going to give you the best scenario right now. With therapy, maybe in a year's time she'll be able to walk. But I can't guarantee that she will not walk without a limp or whatever. That's if she can walk. The worst is she probably won't be able to walk normally the rest of her life if she can support herself. Because I cut things, he knew what he cut. You know, when he came out of the operating room shaking his head, I knew he had to do things he didn't want to do. But anyway, the day I went to take her home, we looked in the room and she wasn't there. So the surgeon was there to sign her out, and the head nurse was there, and I said, you better send one of the nurses. She's probably running around with the wheelchair. Talking to people and everything else. So as we were standing there waiting for them to find her, here comes my daughter running in the hospital. Not in the wheelchair, not limping, not walking, running down the hall, and the surgeon is going, impossible, no way. And I'm going, possible. My God can do anything. And God healed her right then and there.
Oh, yes.
Right then and there, right in Brookhaven Hospital. And to this day, Dr. Cohen has no idea how this even happened. Because he knows she couldn't possibly be healed in that kind of time.
Absolutely.
No way.
No.
But with God, it wasn't.
That's right. When the thing with Stephen, my son, was that the doctor didn't even want his money for the cast. The hospital didn't bill me. The doctor had sent me a bill, and I called to say, he said, don't bother. And the school had known they were supposed to send a tutor, and so I called to say he'd be in the following Monday, that the tutor wouldn't be necessary. And the counselor got a little, I knew them well. You know, I was on everything going in school, the PTA, I was a Girl Scout leader, whatever had to be done in school. I always wanted to be part of it, to know what my children were doing and how well they were doing. And I always had that love for children anyhow. And the counselor said, you know, he said, when the principal hears about that, she's not going to be too happy, Rose. We're very surprised at you because we know you so many years. Because Gracie attended that school, my older daughter also, and I had joined everything going from then. So I was well known. Yes. And they said to me, we're very surprised that you would do a thing like this to us and that you lied. And, you know, we were ready to send a tutor. And there was no reason for it. Was it because he wanted to stay home? And I said no. And what I did was I saved the statement of the doctor. Okay. And it explains the damage to his ankle and the amount of money he wanted. I even have a picture of him with the long cast. And you see how, you know, a person, sort of spells out in their face when they're not feeling well, and you could see how bad